Hello students, today we are going to study chapter 1 of Science of class 8. The chapter name is Crop Production and Management. So now let me start this chapter. Paheli and Bujaho went to their uncle's house during the summer vacation. Their uncle is a farmer. One day they saw some tools like khurpi, sickle, shovel, plug, etc. in the field. So Bujaha want to know where and how we are using these tools. Have you learned that all living organisms require food? Yes, you already learned that. Plants can make their food themselves. Can you recall how green plants synthesize their own food? The plant synthesizes their food with the help of chlorophyll present in the plants and in the presence of sunlight. Using carbon dioxide, they make their own food. Animals, including humans, cannot make their own food. So, where do animals get their food from? But first of all, why do we have to eat food? That we are going to see. You already know that energy from the food is utilized by the organisms for carrying out the various body functions such as digestion, respiration, and excretion. We get our food from plants or animals or both. Since we all need food, how can we provide food to a larger number of people in our country? As the population of our country is higher, how can we provide this much of food to all the people? So Paheli is saying that food has to be produced on a large scale. In order to provide food for a large population, regular production, proper management, and distribution is necessary. So, for that, we have to go for the agricultural practices. So, what are the agricultural practices? Now, we will see that. So, till 10,000 BCE, people were nomadic. Nomadic, that means they were wandering in groups from place to place in search of food or shelter. They ate raw fruits and vegetables and started hunting animals for food, as we see in the previous video. Later, they could cultivate land and produce rice, wheat, and other food crops. Thus was born agriculture. When plants of the same kind are cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. When we are cultivating the same plant in a larger scale, then the plants are called as the crop. For example, crop of wheat means that all the plants grown in a field are that of wheat. You already know that crops are of different types like cereals, vegetables, and fruits. This can be classified on the basis of the season in which they grow. India is a vast country. The climate conditions like temperature, humidity, and rainfall vary from one region to another. According to that, there is a rich variety of crops grown in the different part of the country. Despite this diversity, two broad cropping patterns can be identified, and that are first one is Kharif crop and next is Rabi crops. So first is Kharif crops. So the crops which are sown in the rainy season are called Kharif crops. The rainy season in India is generally from June to September. The crops like paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut, and cotton are Kharif crops. The next type of crop is Rabi crops. So the crops grown in the winter season, that is from October to March, are called Rabi crops. For example, wheat, gram, peas, mustard and linseeds are the rabi crops. Beside this, pulses and vegetables are grown during the summer at many places. Now, what are the basic practices of crop production that we will see? Before that, Bujo has one question that why paddy cannot be grown in the winter season? So, Paheli has the answer. Paddy requires a lot of water, therefore, it is grown only in the rainy season. So, cultivation of crops involves several activities undertaken by farmers over a period of time. You may find that these activities are similar to those carried out by a gardener or even by you when you grown some ornamental plants in your house. Ornamental plants that are you are growing at your home like tulip, rose or money plant, etc. These activities are tasks are referred to as agricultural practices which are listed here. The first task is preparation of soil. First you have to prepare the soil for the crop. The next is sowing. In that you have to sow the seeds. Next step is adding manures or fertilizers. Then after sowing the seeds you have to add some manures or fertilizer for the better production. The next is irrigation. After the sowing the seeds or after applying giving the manure or fertilizer you have to water the plants. Then protecting from the weeds. Then after harvesting and at the end storage. So now let me start with the first step, that is the preparation of soil. The preparation of soil is the first step before growing a crop. One of the most important tasks in agriculture is to turn the soil and loosen it. This allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil. The loose soil allows the roots to breathe easily even when they go deep into the soil. So now question is that why does the loosening of soil allows the root to breathe easily? So by loosening, the space between the soil particles will increase. In that space the air molecules are present. So the roots which are going deep, they can take a breath from that space. So this is why loosening and turning of the soil is important. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes present in the soil. And these organisms are friends of the farmer. Why? Because they help in the turning and loosening the soil, and they are also adding humus to the soil. But why the soil needs to be turned and loosened? So again the same, to growth of the, for the better growth of the plants and for better cultivation of the crops. You have learned in the previous classes that soil contains minerals, water, air and some living organisms. In addition, dead plants and animals get decomposed by soil organisms. In this way, the various nutrients from the body of these dead plants or animals releases back into the soil. These nutrients are again absorbed by the plants. Since only a few centimeters of the top layer of soil supports plant growth, turning and loosening of soil brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top so that plants can use these nutrients. Thus, turning and loosening of soil is very important for the cultivation of the crop. Now the process of loosening and turning the soil is called tilling or ploughing, and this is done by using plough. The plough is shown here in this picture. Plough are made of wood or iron. If the soil is very dry, it may need watering before ploughing to soften the soil. The ploughed field may have big clumps of soil, that means big particles of the soil, and that are called the crumbs. It is necessary to break these crumbs, and leveling the field is beneficial for sowing as well as for the irrigation. So now leveling of soil is done with the help of a leveler. Sometimes manure is added to the soil before tilling. This helps in proper mixing of manure with the soil, and at the end the soil is moistened before sowing. Now for this preparation of soil, which agricultural implements or tools are we using, that is given here. So before sowing these seeds, it is necessary to break soil clumps to get better yield. This is done with the help of various tools. The main tools used for this purpose are the plough, hoe or cultivator. Now we will see in detail about these tools. So first tool is plough. So this is being used since ancient time for tilling the soil, adding fertilizers to the crops, removing the weeds and turning the soil. These are the uses of plough. This is made of wood and is drawn by a pair of bull or other animals like horses and camels. It contains a strong triangular iron sheep, which is shown here. This is iron strip and it is called as the plowshare. The main part of the plough is long log of wood which is called the plough shaft. So this is your plough shaft. It is made up of wood. At the one end it is attached to a beam, and at another hand the handle is over there. So that is shown in this picture. This is the beam of the plough which is connected to at the one end of the shaft, and on the another hand the handle is there. The beams of the shaft is placed on the necks of the animals. One pair of pulls and a man can easily operate the plough. The indigenous or traditional wooden plough is increasingly being replaced by the iron ploughs nowadays. The next tools or implement is hoe. So it is simply tool which is used for removing weeds and for losing the soil. It has long rod of wood or iron which is shown over here. This is long rod which is made of wood or iron. A strong board and bent plate of iron is fixed to the one of its end. This bent plate which is made up of iron is fixed at the one point and it works like a blade. It is pulled by animals. The animal's neck will come below this beam. It is pulled by animals and it is used for loosening the soils or for cutting the weeds. The next agricultural tool or implement is cultivator. So cultivator, here shown, one man driving the tractor is using this cultivator. Nowadays, ploughing is done by tractor driven cultivator. The use of cultivator saves labor and time. It can save the labor as well as time. In lowest time, you can take a more work by using this cultivator. So now our first step is over. Our soil is prepared. Now the second next step is sowing the seeds. So sowing is an important part for the crop production. Before sowing, good quality, clean and healthy seeds of a good variety are selected. Farmers prefer to use seeds which give high yield or high production. So in that first step is the selection of seeds. So Paheli remember one incident. One day she saw her mother put some gram seeds in a vessel and pour some water on them. After a few minutes, some seeds started to float on the top. She wondered why some seeds float on the water. Do you know the answer? Now see, let we check by this one activity. Take a beaker and fill half of it with water. Put a handful of wheat seeds and stir it well. Mix it well. Wait for some time and then observe. Are there seeds which float on water? Would those be lighter or heavier than those which are sinking? Why would they be lighter? Damaged seeds become hollow and are thus lighter than the seeds which sink. Therefore, they float on the water. This is a good method for separating good healthy seeds from the damaged ones. Before sowing, one of the important tasks is to know about the tools used for sowing the seeds. So traditional tool we will see the first. What are the traditionally farmers used to sow the seeds? The tool used traditionally for sowing these seeds is shaped like a funnel. Like this one is shaped like funnel. The seeds are filled into this funnel and then pass down through 2 or 3 pipes having the sharp ends. So they pass through this pipe and at the end it has the sharp ends. These ends pierce into the soil and place the seeds there. By this pipe the seeds went down and fix into the soil. Now beside this traditional method, another method is also used to sow the seeds and that is seed drill. Nowadays the seed drill that is shown in the picture is used for sowing with the help of tractors. The seed drill is attached to the tractor by through this pipe. This sows the seeds uniformly at equal distance and depth. Its advantage of seed drill that it can sow the seeds at equal distance and depth. It ensures that seeds get covered by the soil after the sowing. This protects seeds from being eaten by birds. Sowing by using a seed drill saves time and labor. Now Bujaho is saying something that there is a nursery near my school. I found that little plants were kept in a small bag. Why are they kept like this? So Paheli has the answer. Seeds of a few plants such as paddy are first grown in a nursery. When they grow into seedlings that means young plant developing from the seed, they are transplanted into the field manually. Some forest plants and flowering plants are also grown in the nursery and then after they transplanted to the another place. Now appropriate distance between the seeds is necessary to avoid overcrowding of the plants. This allows plants to get sufficient sunlight, nutrients and water from the soil. At times, a few plants may have to be removed to prevent overcrowding. What happens if the overcrowding has been taken place? The plants will get compete with each other for the sunlight, nutrients, water from the soil, and they will not get properly grow as compared to the plants which are growing at the particular distance. Now we have completed two steps, that is first one is preparation of soil and second is sowing. After that the step 3 is adding manure and fertilizers. So what is the manure and fertilizers? So the substance which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for the healthy growth of the plants are called manure or fertilizers. I saw a healthy crop growing in the farm. Bujra is saying, in the neighboring farm, the plants are weak. Why do some plants grow better than others? Because some plants are getting good nutrients from the soil as compared to the other. So the plants which are getting better nutrients, they have the better growth. Soil supplies mineral nutrients to the crop plants. These nutrients are essential for the growth of plants. In certain areas, farmers grow crop after crop in the same field. The field is never left uncultivated or fallow. Now imagine what happened to the nutrients. So continuous cultivation of crops make the soil poor in nutrients. All the nutrients will be used. Therefore, farmers have to add manure to the fields to replenish or to establish again the nutrients into the soil. This process is called manuring. Improper or insufficient manuring result in the weak plants. So your manuring should be proper. The manure is an organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plants or animal waste. Farmers dump plants and animal waste in pit at the open place and allow it to decompose. The decomposition is caused by some microorganisms. The decomposed matter is used as organic manure. You already learned about this vermicomposting in class 6. Now how this manure is effective to the growth of the plant is shown by one activity. Try this at your home. For that, take moong or gram seed and germinate them. Select 3 equal sized siblings. Take 3 empty glasses or similar vessels. Mark them A, B and C. To glass A, add little amount of soil mixed with a little cow dung manure. In class B, put the same amount of soil mixed with the little urea, and take the same amount of soil in glass C without adding anything, as shown in this picture. Now pour the same amount of water in each glass and plant the seedlings in them. Keep them in a safe place and water them daily. After 7 to 10 days, observe their growth. So you will observe this type of growth in the seedlings. The cup or glass A in which we add the manure, cow dung manure, that has the medium growth of the plant. In glass B in which we add urea, that has the maximum growth. And in glass C in which we didn't mix anything, it has the lower growth of the seedlings. So did the plants in all the glasses grow at the same pace? Which glass show better growth of the plants? So glass B in which we added urea will show the better growth. In which glass was the growth fastest? The same in glass B the growth was fastest. Now fertilizers. What are fertilizers? So fertilizers are chemicals which are rich in particular nutrient. How are they different from manure? So fertilizers are produced in factories Some of the examples of fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash, NPK, that means nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. The use of this fertilizer has helped farmers to get better yield of crop such as wheat, paddy and maize. But the excessive use of these fertilizers has made the soil less fertile after a long duration of time. The fertilizers have also become a source of water pollution. Therefore, in order to maintain the fertility of the soil, we have to substitute fertilizers with organic manure or leave the field uncultivated in between two crops. Instead of the fertilizer, we have to use organic manures. The use of manure improves the soil texture as well as its water retaining capacity. The manure increases the water holding capacity of the soil. It replenishes the soil with the nutrients. Another method of replenishing the soil with nutrients is through crop rotation. What is this crop rotation? So this can be done by growing different crops alternatingly. If you grow the wheat first, then after wheat you can switch to the other crop, that is the crop rotation. Earlier farmers in northern India used to grow legumes as fodder in one season and wheat in the next seasons. This help in the replenishment of the soil with nitrogen because in leguminous plant they enriches the soil with the nitrogen. The farmers are being encouraged to adopt this practice. In the previous classes, you have learnt about the rhizobium bacteria. These are present in the nodules of the roots of leguminous plants. They fix the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. So now we will see what is the differences between the fertilizer and manure. So first point, fertilizer is man-made inorganic salt, whereas manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung and plant residue. The fertilizers is prepared in factories, whereas manure can be prepared in the fields. Fertilizers does not provide any humus to the soil and manure provides a lot of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients. So now in this table we had seen the difference between fertilizer and manure. Now we will see what are the advantages of manure. So the organic manure is considered better than the fertilizers. Why? Because due to the some advantages. What are the advantages? So it enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. It makes the soil porous due to which exchange of gases become easy. It increases the number of friendly microbes and it improves the texture of the soil. These all advantages will result in the better crop production. So that's why manure is the better for the soil and for the crop production. So till now in this video we had seen in order to provide food to our growing population, regular production, proper management and distribution of food is necessary. Then we had seen what is the crop. So when plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. Then two different types of crop according to the season, that is kharif crops and rabi crops. So kharif crops are the crops that are grown in the rainy seasons. That example is paddy and maize. Then the Rabi crops. So the crops grown in the winter season are called the Rabi crops. The examples of Rabi crops are wheat and gram. Then we had seen basic practices of crop production, and in that first step is preparation of soil. In that we had seen the preparation of the soil is the first step before growing a crop, and the process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or ploughing. For that we use plough, hoe and cultivators. Then next step we had seen second step, that is sowing. That is, it is most important part of crop production, and before sowing good quality seeds are selected. The tool used traditionally for sowing is funnel shape and it is called seeder. And nowadays we are using seed drill for sowing the seeds with the help of the tractors. For healthy growth of plants and minerals, we require some fertilizers or manures. So what is manure that we had seen? So it is organic substance obtained from the decomposition of plant or animal waste. Then we had seen fertilizers. So fertilizers are the chemical substance. Example of fertilizers are urea, ammonium sulfate, superphosphate, potash and NPK. The now rest of the steps we will see in the next video. Thank you.